All right, what's up, guys? I just want to do a quick review here on the trades I took today on NASDAQ. So we had this rejection up here near previous day high level. We moved down below the 200, below all the EMAs, and we kind of had a little bit like a flag formation here on the 5-minute chart. And I also, just to let you guys know, I changed my chart, my EMAs, back to using the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA instead of the 15. I was using the 15 for a while, but I did some back testing this past weekend, and I realized I still really like using the 9 and 20 on the 5-minute chart, so I've gone back to that. Same concept though as using the 15. So anyway, so we had this move down. We're kind of consolidating near this pre-market low level here, and we had this flag form. I was very close to taking a short here. The only reason I didn't is because ES at the time, let me go show you here. ES was on the left here. What was this? It was right around here. ES had previous day's low level just below. So a lot of times we'll get a double bottom bounce on the previous day's low. So I was a little more cautious with taking the trade on NQ. Like I said, NQ, you can see this flag on NQ as it was about to be breaking, but you had ES with previous day low right below, so I avoided it. Probably could have still taken it, maybe with just less size, because it was a good setup, back holding below pre-market low. And really, the reason why I actually liked this setup, if ES didn't have that previous day low right below, I liked this a lot because it's basically a failed double bottom, right? You get this first bottom here on NQ, move up, come back down, try to push back up again, and then if this double bottom fails, usually you get a nice flush. So it was still a valid setup. I just avoided it. So let me go back to my other screen. So missed that move down, no big deal. We did have NQ had this big wick here down near previous day's low on NQ. And we had this wick form at the bottom on this candle, so I took a little scalp here to try to get a push back up into like the 9 EMA at least here. Thinking that maybe we'd even go retest pre-market low level again was the idea. And I was going to take profits if we touch the 9 EMA on at least half of it and then hold half up near this area. But we just kind of rejected and rolled over, so I just took a break even on it. I don't really like trading against the trend very often, but it was at previous day's low. We had a really nice wick here in the 5-minute with another wick right next to it, so that's why I was taking it just for a scalp. But I typically won't take counter trend, but I like the setup on it. So I took it, didn't work, took a break even, no big deal. So after I saw that happen, I was like, all right, looks like this thing could roll over again. We had this little like inside bar red reject near the 9 EMA here and reject this previous low here. So I took the short here, and we had a little move down, kind of had another inside bar, green bar here, and then I added to it right here. We moved down, I took some off here, and then I'm probably got a little bit greedy trying to add a little bit more, but we moved below previous day's low, moved up, came back below it, and I got in I added one contract here, I believe. And then I thought maybe since we held below previous day's low here, we'd maybe get a move down to test near this level, but they decided to push it back up again, and I trailed out the rest of my contracts here along with the add. So it kind of turned like a pretty good trade, a nice trade I should say, into like an okay trade by adding here. But it was the risk, if you're going to add, obviously if it works, it can make your profits a good amount bigger, but if it doesn't work, then you're gonna give some back. So you just have to live with it if you are gonna add to trades. It was back near the 9 EMA and back underneath previous day's low. That's why I took it. So, but looking back, we had these 2 wicks right here to the left. So like entering right next to wicks is not always the best play. Because it just shows that like buyers were pushing up in this area, so they could still be in the area. So I probably could have just trailed out above this candle after it flipped, but I wanted to give it room to see if the previous day low would hold, and then it didn't, and I trailed out above this candle high here. And then as soon as that happened, we came right back down below it, and I got in for another short here, thinking that we just took out some stops here. And then we ended up moving down, broke the low of this candle, and then they wicked it right back up. So I took another break even on this one. And then, I saw this 5-minute candle here. So I thought, well, we had a nice wick. We kind of failed to go lower. Nice 5-minute wick here, right on previous day's low. So I thought I'll take a smaller size long to see if we can get above this high here, maybe up to the 20, like near this kind of level here, these bodies, and ended up being a loss. So yeah, I got in right here actually. Yeah, because this was closing out the previous short break even. Took the long above this candle, and then it faked out and came right back down. So I took the loss on that one, but it was smaller size. If I'm ever taking counter trend trades, it's going to be smaller size. And then, so we came back down, stopped out, and then they tried to bring it back up again, rejected the previous day low again, and near the 9 wicked. As it was starting to wick, I got back in short again because I did see we're kind of consolidating, forming kind of like a flag type pattern after this move down, flagging. So I got in short there on these executions. My stop is going to be above here and end up rolling down eventually, scaled out here, which was near that 600 level. And then I got trailed out. When this candle didn't get any continuation, it took out the high of it, so I just trailed out the runner. And then, let's see. Looked like there was almost another flag opportunity here, but we already had a big move to the downside, so I kind of avoided taking this trade here. But this isn't a bad setup. This little inside hammer here, upper wick right off the EMA, kind of at this level, retesting this level here. Could have been a quick scalp down, but you don't need to catch every single move. So sometimes I get in the mode of trying to catch everything when I don't really need to, because we already had 1 good move, 2 good move, 3 good move. Just kind of pushing it. Even this trade is kind of like almost the 4th leg you're looking for. So usually after like 3 good pushes, 1, 2, 3, 3.5-ish here, you're going to be due for a deeper pullback or consolidation. So I was kind of had that in the back of my mind when we barely made a new low here. We had this big lower wick, and I took a long here just for a quick scalp. We got the move up to the 9. I took 1 off, and then it came back down. I took a break even on the second half, and then that was it for me. You can see this actually. If I would have held it, looks like it would have worked out pretty well here on this squeeze up. But it's just harder to take, for me, to take these counter trend plays, to trust to hold them on these moves back down. So overall, had a nice little base hit day for myself. Probably could have taken a little bit less trades, maybe avoided the counter trend trades. But like I said, if I take those, they're going to be smaller size, and I'm looking to get in and out quicker. So, but overall, happy with the day. Happy to start the week with a nice small little green day, and then look to build for some momentum into the rest of the week here. We have FOMC coming on Wednesday, so it could be a little choppy and indecisive, leading up to Wednesday. So just if you're trading, before Wednesday, just be cautious and kind of take what the market gives you, leading up to that. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, see ya.